Dealer.
Hoboken.
This is News 4 New York at 11 with Ralph Penza, Carol Jenkins, Ira Joe Fisher with the weather, and Sal Marciano with the latest sports.
Good evening. A double dose of earthquake terror for Southern California.
Yes, there were two quakes just hours apart, and they were powerful. One person died, more than 170 injured. For the latest, we have a live report from Patrick Healy in Yucca Valley, California.
Behind us, what is left of a bowling alley. Fortunately, it's been several hours now since the last significant aftershock added to the widespread damage, but the ground is still shaking with unsettling frequency here in the high desert. Even for quake-prone California, this has been an extraordinary series of temblors.
What most amazed those in the California high desert close to the quake's epicenter is that more was not destroyed.
Like I was on a roller coaster and just pitching into space is what I felt like. I mean, like you just couldn't stop it, you know. And my husband was in bed with me, and he held on to me, and he said, whatever you do, don't get up.
Everything inside is demolished. I mean, everything.
Buildings collapsed, homes were demolished, a main highway crunched like an accordion. More than 100 injured and 2 dead, including a 3.5-year-old boy crushed in his sleep by falling masonry. This was the toll of Southern California's biggest earthquake in decades, 7.4 on the Richter scale. Flying in from Sacramento, Governor Wilson toured a destroyed bowling alley, the building that came to symbolize the quake's destruction, and declared a state of emergency.
What we are urging is that people not panic, but that they do take the kind of precautions that are necessary to stay out of harm's way.
The consequences might have been even worse, but for the fact the quake's epicenter was in the relatively sparsely populated high desert, 100 miles east of Los Angeles. But what made the day even more jarring on nerves was a second big quake, a 6.5, 30 miles away in the area of the Big Bear Lake Resort.
And I seen the whole top part of the building come down, and then all of the front come down, all of the cement and all of the brick just kept falling down, piling one on top of another. And I just panicked. I ran out here because that scared me to seeing that coming out.
The earthquakes all happened on other faults, and we haven't changed what's going on in the San Andreas. We look at this more as a symptom of what's going on in the San Andreas. By seeing all these other earthquakes around it, it's a sign that the San Andreas is built up, and we aren't doing anything to relieve it with these.
Now, as powerful as these quakes were, they did not cause widespread destruction, and that is because of their desert location. The first quake arrived before sunrise and was centered near the town of Joshua Tree. It measured 7.4 on the Richter scale. 3 hours later, the second quake was pinpointed at Big Bear Lake. That registered a 6.5, and tremors were felt as far away as Las Vegas, Phoenix, even Denver. In Long Beach, closer to L.A., masonry cracked and fell off several buildings. The city lost its rail service for a couple of hours. Shattered glass was visible in several neighborhoods, and in one office complex, the ceiling collapsed, filling the lobby with debris.
I says, oh my God, what happened here? Because it was just, I thought it was just a couple pieces of ceiling tile, and it was the whole ceiling. The actual whole ceiling just filled up. The lobby was full.
Not incidentally, power outages caused by the quakes affected as many as 500,000 people.
Well, with parts of California now under a state of emergency, President Bush is expressing his concern. The president canceled the golf date and came back early from his weekend at Camp David. He offered support to the governor of California.
I talked to the governor, Governor Wilson, and assured him, of course, that the federal government would do whatever we possibly can do.
Well, afterward, Mr. Bush got a briefing from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. He was told the danger of yet another quake diminished with each passing hour.
And now our other top story tonight.